where did the name Mighty Merp come from?
Good question.
Mighty Merp is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all your favorite apps and players.
Welcome to the Mighty Merp podcast, Dawn Kaplan and Amy Smith. Mighty Merp. So when I got married, my initials actually spelled out Merp, Melissa Elaine Rosenblum Pizetzner. But when I got married, my younger sister said, "Your nickname is now Merp. It's like a Muppet." And we loved the Muppets when we were little. So I've been known as Merp for a while, and Mighty is just sort of, one of those play on words. I jokingly say I'm mighty. I'm like a super attorney and a super mom, and I can do everything because we're women and we probably do need to do everything. Right. But I'm also tiny. I'm 5'3", so I think it's funny when I use the word mighty.
Mighty.
So, welcome to the podcast. I'm really excited. I know we've been planning this for a while, and I think we have a lot in common. I think we're going to be able to be like, me too, on a lot of things. But I did some research on your law firm, and like mine, you're a woman-owned law firm. Tell me, I don't know, maybe I'll just go back and forth between each of you. I don't know who wants to answer this, but when did you start your law firm, and did it just start with the two of you? And the focus, I don't know if when I opened my firm, I knew I was going to kind of be, I'm not just a woman-owned business, but like a woman advocate as a business owner. And it definitely, that's how it evolved. So tell me a little bit about your
I'm going to take
history.
that one and I'll do the next one.
Okay. So Amy and I started the firm in February of 2012. And at that time, it was just Amy and I, and we, had a few conversations. We actually joined, it's Weinberg Kaplan Smith. So Joseph Weinberg is actually the Weinberg in the name, or was the Weinberg in the name. He was looking to retire, and he didn't necessarily want to close his doors, but he needed help. And Amy and I talked about it, and we were at a place together, and we thought that we could do this and maybe make some, changes internally of how we thought a firm should run, particularly in such a specialized area as family law. So we started it in February of 2012. Joe ultimately retired, I think it was around 2014. So then it was just Amy and I, and we had brought on associates and started expanding the firm with assistants and other support staff. And then Michael Weinberg, who is Joe's son, joined us in 2019, and he is now the Weinberg of Weinberg Kaplan Smith.
Was that mandated when you took over?
Was it mandated? And we weren't sure that he was really ever going to join us, but we said that no one else could. His name was already there.
There you go. So were you always family law practitioners? I do know, I think it was Amy was a prosecutor in Burlington.
Yeah, I was a prosecutor for 5 years in Burlington County before I started. And then I transitioned right into family law after that. So I was a prosecutor for 5 years in Burlington County. I did like domestic violence trial team. And then I transitioned into family law right after. It was like a natural transition.
And Dawn, was that, were you always doing family law?
I say yes. I came out of law school. I practiced workers' comp insurance for insurance defense firm for 1 year. And then realized that I wanted to do something different. And when I was in law school, I always thought I wanted to do family law. But when I got out of school and was looking for a job, there was nothing available, but I knew that was my passion. So, for 21 years, family law.
Right. I think we all graduate and we sort of, if we're not clerking, we might take that first job or that first opportunity, even if it's not the exact fit. I was going to say, I don't even have it on my resume, but I worked for a civil law firm for about 4 months before I started working in the Philly Public Defender's office. And
Right.
then I've done criminal law my whole entire career. But I did take a job for a few months, just
Yeah.
needing a job.
Right.
I was a solid 1 year start to finish. And I was like, if I don't get out now and make the change and find what is really my passion, and I knew what it was, I felt like I was going to get stuck there. So I just kind of made the leap, and it's just stuck with me.
Amy, you were going to add?
No, I was going to say, I started as a law clerk up in Hunterdon County, and I clerked for a family law judge. And she basically said to me, you need to be a prosecutor because it's the only way you're going to get experience, and you're going to learn the rules of evidence, and you're going to learn your court rules, and, you're going to learn how to present in front of a jury. Because I found when I shifted to family law, there's a lot of family lawyers that don't know how to do that. Like, they don't know what the rules of evidence are. They don't, like, it was shocking to me. So I'm glad she made me do that for 5 years because it was invaluable court experience.
Right. I tell all young attorneys, anyone who says they want to be a trial attorney, I say go to a prosecutor's office or a public defender's office.
Totally.
My listeners know I started in Philly at the public defender's office. I always rave about the experience and the fact that they really taught me how to be a trial attorney. And I handle a lot of domestic violence cases, which you both know are in family court. And I agree that a lot of people that are not trial lawyers who didn't have that experience, they don't know the rules of evidence. And
No.
Nor do the judges. Some of your judges don't as well. So it's important to, everybody know what they're doing.
Right. Well, I think people would be surprised when somebody says, well, the judges might not know the rules of evidence. And the truth is that if you're not a trial attorney and you're not really looking at the rules of how to get into evidence and how to keep out evidence, you don't know it.
Right.
So when you opened up your firm, or I'll say as your firm progressed, were there, what are your responsibilities, Amy? What's Dawn's responsibilities? I know you're both the co-founders, but do you focus on different things in running a business, in running the business of law?
Yeah, I think we do. I think Michael and I are very similar. Like, we love to just run with the cases. Dawn handles more of the money because we don't want to. And he enjoys it. So, Michael and I are like, let's just go and let's get to court. And Dawn likes that too, but she also liked the managing piece of it that Michael and I would prefer not to do. So it actually works because we don't ever get in each other's lanes because we all know what we want to do, which is good.
Yes. They don't want to get in my lane.
No.
So I kind of do the business side of it. We're a smaller boutique firm. They've named me the managing partner. It started out as a joke way back when.
Yes.
And even when Michael joined, we explained to him what my role was, and he was very happy to say, I have no interest in that. I just want to work as an attorney, but there has to be someone that handles the business side of it. And I actually enjoy it, especially as Amy and I have grown over the years, since 2012. Never do I think either one of us really ever thought the firm was going to become what it was. And now, even today, we both kind of get up, do networking events, work very hard, thinking that at any point in time, this can all fall apart, that we never really thought it would get here.
Right. Do you think that's a woman thing, that we think it can all fall apart at any time? I mean, you have a pretty solid practice, and you have, if I counted right, about 6 or 7 attorneys, either of counsel or associate. I mean, that's a solid medium size. I wouldn't consider that a small law firm anymore.
Right.
It's probably habit that I still call it small.
I think it's that we're both very grateful. We both came from, neither one of us grew up with a lot of money, and so I think we're grateful that first of all, I get to work with my best friends every day. We have great staff. We have great lawyers. Like, we're truly blessed, like, to have what we have. And the good thing is we appreciate it. Like it's not like we take it for granted that we get to do this every day. So, and I hope it never gets to that point, because that means that we should probably retire. But we are truly, truly blessed with what we have.
I was going to say the same thing. I think it came from, Amy and I have very similar backgrounds. We didn't come from families that had attorneys, families that even went to college. So for her and I, we went to law school, and we might have been the first people in our families to get to college, let alone a graduate program of some type. So then to start our own firm, I think her and I wake up every day and think we're just the two women that met when our kids were young at a different law firm. And we started this, and we did make it our family. And Amy says, we say it all the time. We try to tell our staff that, to let them know that we feel blessed that they come to work and enjoy working. And we don't use the word for, they do sometimes, but we say, no, we work together. You don't work for us. We all work together. We truly are. And we call ourselves the WKS team.
Right. So let me ask you, I have like 3 questions in a row, and I don't know the best order to take it in. So I'd love to hear both of your origin stories about how you decided to go to law school. But before we go there, we're talking about the success of the law firm, and that, you have a good sized law firm. You're not, you've grown it over the years, over the last 10 years. So I guess my question to you is, what do you think is the secret of your success? Or what do you think, you're a family practice, a family law practice. You handle divorces, you handle custody. So I did see you did real estate. You have someone who does a little criminal as well. So you do a little of everything. But I guess, what do you think has made your office a success, or your practice a success?
I mean, I think, for one, I think it's how we look at our cases, in the sense that, we care about our clients. We want to get them to the other side of what can be very, difficult, terrible litigation. I think we're very honest with our clients. I don't think we sugarcoat things. And I think our clients respect that. Like I'll say to clients all the time, put your own kids through college. Don't put mine through college. I probably say that multiple times a week to clients, because I really believe it, so I think that has made us successful with clients. And the fact that, again, we have this great team, from, our paralegals down to our receptionists, that make our clients feel welcome. And like, I just had a consult yesterday, and she said to me, I just want to tell you, your receptionist is amazing. And I was like, but that's it. That's the secret. Like, that we treat everybody with respect, and I think you feel it through everybody that works with us.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I have a sign in my office that says, like, be nice and work hard. And it's the best compliment when my clients say, oh my goodness, your staff is so nice, or they've been, so great. And listen, I have clients that are in terrible situations, and they call the office sometimes yelling they're just mad and upset. And then they say, your staff has been amazing. And I always go out to my staff afterwards, and I'm like, I know that John Doe has been a big pain, but he loves you guys. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We always share when clients tell us when someone has done something kind or nice for them. And I carry the same sentiments as Amy. I also think one of the things, everyone in our office, we're all very humble. We all know that we're not perfect. We don't know everything. We try to learn from each other every day. And I think one of the things that Amy said, and we can expand on, is the honesty. We really kind of try to set realistic expectations from for our clients from day one. We're not just trying to get them to sign on with us by telling them what they want to hear. And we say that to them. You have friends, you have family, you have people in your life that sometimes you need to hear just what you need to hear. But a divorce is very costly, and you don't want us to just tell you what you want to hear. You need to have realistic expectations so that there are no surprises along the way, because the issue at hand, the divorce, the custody battle, whatever it may be the ultimate surprise. They don't need surprises along the way. And I think all of our attorneys do that, set realistic expectations. And I think our staff is patient. And that's what our clients need. Sometimes when they can't get us, they just need someone to vent to. And our staff understands that it's all relative. And in their world, this is the worst thing happening. And they really are just, we work with good human beings. And that goes a long way in this world.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And that's the same idea at my office as well. But it's really important to know that even that simple honesty to our clients up front. I always say to clients, like, I spend so much time at the consultation and then the first interview so that they don't need to talk to me as much afterwards, that my staff can handle a lot of their questions that they have. But, I always try to have like a realistic expectation of the outcome based on the nature of the charges. And I have clients call me on traffic tickets and I say, you don't need me on this. I'll explain to someone how to handle a traffic ticket. A lot of people, after I tell them the truth about traffic tickets and what I can do and what I can't do, and then I tell them if somebody's promising you A, B, or C, they can't, like, they're not being truthful. They're trying to scare you into hiring them. And even when I say, don't hire me, you can do this, they call me back and they're like, can you just come to court? I'll pay. And I'm like, okay, but they appreciate the honesty about it.
Right.
So, yeah. So, I'm going to ask each of you, and how'd you end up going to law school? I did notice that all three of us went to Delaware Law School, Widener. One of us graduated in 97. One of us graduated in 98, and one of us graduated in 2000. I'm not going to say who graduated first. So how'd you end up in law school? If you're saying like you grew up with family that didn't even, college wasn't necessarily the end goal for you, or
I mean, I knew like once I was in college, like originally I went to college thinking I wanted to be a doctor. And then after doing some of, the pre-med, I was like, I'm done.
was it
And
organic chemistry? Was it organic chemistry? Because that's what usually trips most people up.
Exactly. And so I knew I wanted to help people. I knew, I originally thought that was what would be good for me. So then, I originally was going to go to Temple and I had to go at night because I put myself through law school. And I'll never forget, my dad drove me down there at night and he was like, yeah, we're not going to go to Temple at night. Like, I'm not letting my little girl go down there because I'm little too. I'm only 5'3". And that's why, and I started at night at Widener. And then, I ended up transferring to the day program and I was still able to finish in 3 years, but it was a good experience, I thought.
And similarly, Amy and I were there at the same time. We did not know one another when we were there at the same time. When I originally went to, it's now the College of New Jersey, but Trenton State, I thought I wanted to get into some sort of forensics, always was intrigued by the FBI, investigations. And then going through meeting with, my counselors, and, I think one said at one point, what about law school? And I said, you know what? I thought maybe I would do like family law. I came from a blended family. So I kind of remember the good and the bad from it. And thought I could help and make a difference in the same way. And I knew once I went to law school, I knew what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to be a family law attorney. I just knew that a lot of times they were more boutique firms when they just did primarily family law like we did. I knew it was going to be hard to break into. But, it was kind of something that I decided to do once I was in college.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So I see both of you, I think you're founders of women-owned law organization.
Yes.
Is that an organization? Could you tell me about women-owned law? I sort of was reading on your website and bios, and then I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'm interested.
Dawn?
Yeah, it's a group of female attorneys that have started their own businesses. They meet. It's not as often as we thought when we kind of joined it, but they meet, they brainstorm, bring different guests that could possibly assist in your area of the practice. Like someone could bring in, someone that's in the mortgage business. Well, for us, that would help us. We have clients that are either buying a home if they've been bought out, or they're, needing to work through the refinance process. So it's just, again, other women that kind of did what we did.
So when you opened up your own law firm, were there any major concerns other than will we make money? That was my concern when I opened up my law firm.
That was ours too. I remember I said to my husband, I'm like, we're gonna have to start clipping coupons. Like it's gonna be tight. It's,
Yeah.
I was really preparing we really thought, it was going to be more difficult than it was. I mean, it was challenging the first couple of years for sure. But it was a big leap, but easier than I thought, shockingly.
And I think what people don't sometimes realize, and I don't think Amy and I realized it, like at the time we thought we were good attorneys and we could, do this somewhere else. But we learned along the way that not only were we attorneys, we had to run a business, and bills had to be paid, and there was payroll, and there was 401k, and there was health insurance, and other people were depending upon us, not just our clients. And we really took that to heart as we were building this, that what we do not only affects our clients, but it affects everyone in this office. So we show up every day for our clients, obviously, but we're showing up for our staff that shows up every day for us and trust us that we're keeping the lights on.
Right. I like that Dawn went to the business aspect of it, of like, we're a business and we have to, because I love being a lawyer, and there's lots of things I love about running my own business. But the business end, I don't even know how else to say, because it sounds really weird, but not the collecting the money. Obviously, I'm in business. That's the fun part, but making sure that, all the bills are paid, and you're promoting or advertising in a way that makes sense. And, do you need an answering service or not? Or what phone system? All these, business decisions that as your business grows, when I started my firm, I did everything as inexpensively as possible. So my Gmail, my emails were Gmails. I created initially my own website. Now I have someone that manages my website. Now I have, specific emails for my law firm that are, law firm generated, and, as you become more successful, the expenditures become more.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the part of the business that I find really, stressful. How fast to grow, how, when to hire, when not to hire, where to, I definitely have learned where to advertise. That was like, definitely.
Oh, that's hard. Yes. We moved 3 times. Like we've actually moved technically 3 times.
3 times.
And each time it is stressful.
Yep.
Luckily, twice we're in the same building, so that wasn't too bad, but we really grew our space, and that was super stressful. Like, what if we can't fill the space? And,
right.
Luckily we have.
I moved 3 times as well for finding the right space. And my email, I think it actually still says it, even though I've been at this location for 18 months now. But at the bottom of it, it says, "Oops, we did it again," and has the "Please note our new address."
Funny. That's funny.
But so what did you find once you had been in business, you're successful? I know the answer. Well, I'm going to assume one of the answers for Dawn is that she learned that she liked being the business end of being a lawyer. But Amy, what was it for you other than the clients? I mean, so I would say for me, what I found is I really like the marketing, and I
Mm-hmm.
like, I knew I liked teaching. I've taught at Delaware Law School and
Mm-hmm.
Rowan. And so I've been able to do a lot of CLEs and promote that way. Um, so I did enjoy that. I enjoy the marketing end of the business. What have you found being in private practice that you kind of didn't expect but really enjoy?
I mean, I like that it's mine. Like I like that sense of like the pride of like it's mine. Like when I come in the morning, we built it and this is ours. And so you see your hard work and where it goes. And again, just knowing that we're looking out for all these people that work with us. I think that is again, I feel blessed that we get to do that every day. That all these people rely on us. And it's also our job to make sure they like working here and they're comfortable because as we say to them, they spend more time here than anywhere else. So we want to have an environment where people actually like being here, and I think that's important as a business owner.
Right. When you say it's mine, what I hear and what I relate to in that is that you're able to create a work environment
Hmm.
that is an environment that not only you want to be in, but that everyone
Hmm.
who works for you
Exactly.
wants to be in. And that's one of the things I'm really proud of too, because
Yeah.
um, I know my staff likes working here, and I always will wrap around to my kids at some point in the podcast. So I have 4 kids, and my oldest is a college graduate who's taking a gap year before she decides what to do next year. Uh, for all my listeners, she has decided not to go to law school, but she's going to get a master's in social work, is what she decided. And she was thinking about substituting this year, and she was working part time at my office. And I had one of my paralegals went took a new job in the closer to you in the Cherry Hill area. So I needed a paralegal, and she ended up really liking
Oh,
working at
wow.
the office, and she's working full time. She's a legal assistant. She loves the staff and the work environment, and she's really happy. And it is funny. Once in a while, she'll come into my office and she'll start saying something, and the other assistant paralegal is like, "That's more of a mom-daughter conversation than a office conversation." And I'm
Right.
like, "I know. Do you listen to the way she's talking to me? I was like, my staff usually just says yes to those things, but
Right, right.
it really was a nice shout out of what I created, that she wanted to work here,
Yeah,
and to be a part of it in that way. And I am really proud of that. That
absolutely.
yes. So, um, would you recommend law school to people? I always ask this question because
Yeah,
it's such a
always.
mixed mix. Would you recommend law school to anyone in college?
Anyone.
Yes.
I do it. I literally just talked to a client yesterday. I am my oldest. She's a freshman in college, but I definitely am pushing her toward law school. My little one, I'm not. But I just talked to a client about it yesterday. I said, you can do so much with the degree. Like, even if
Yes,
you don't want to be a lawyer, you can work at a hospital. You can be like, there's just, to me, it is such a invaluable degree.
I know. I
Yes.
tried to tell my
Like,
daughter
I
to
am
get the
very proud.
dual masters. I tried to tell her
Yeah.
to do the masters and JD, and she's like, no. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. But you would say yes, no caveats.
100%.
No,
No hesitation.
I would agree. I have a son that's a junior at the University of Tampa, and he says his fallback plan is to go to law school because my mom has her own firm. That's his claim to fame. So I am pushing him in that direction. I think he'd be good at it. I don't know that he would like family law so much. He may. He just thinks I work entirely too much, but in the same breath of what Amy said, we do. We pretty much work 24/7. The kids don't know me to not have a laptop in front of me everywhere. But I say to them, once it's yours, you will feel very differently about the hours that you work and the commitment because it's yours. You've grown it, you've made it what it is, and every day we can strive to make it better. So as Amy said, it's hours, and I don't mind working it all the time. And a lot of times I spend weekends doing the business side of it. And that just makes it that much easier on everybody else when we're here Monday through Friday.
Right. Just so you know, I have juniors in college and I have a freshman in college. So
Oh my God.
we match. Yeah. And last year I had 3 in college as well because my daughter was a senior. I have twins. So
Oh my God.
Nice.
Are they local
Nice.
or no? Like, where are they going?
no, my oldest graduated from SUNY Binghamton,
Okay.
and one of my twins is at SUNY Binghamton. And if people don't know who live in New Jersey, the SUNY schools give a lot of scholarship, and so we ended up paying equivalent to a Jersey state school, and
Nice.
Wow.
they got the experience of going out of state. My other 2 were not as kind to me. I have one at Rochester Institute of Technology. He's a junior.
my
And I
God.
thought that hurt a little writing those checks. And then I have another one at Franklin and Marshall, which is in Lancaster, PA.
Yeah.
And although
Yeah.
he did get a lot of scholarship and he worked really hard to go there, even with getting the most scholarship out of my 4 kids, his school is still the most expensive. So,
Right.
yes, I jokingly say I will work forever at this point.
Right.
I say that all the time. I'm like you. I will have 3 in college next year. So I have my son. I'm a blended family. So I'm divorced and remarried. So my son is a junior. My daughter and my stepdaughter are seniors. And then my other stepdaughter is 12. So I have a little bit of a gap. But next year I will have 3. So yes, I will work forever. And then I'll have a 4th still coming up.
Yeah, I thought the diapers was stressful. Then I thought the daycare was stressful. People plan gaps 4 years apart is what I recommend now.
Right.
You plan it. Don't have them too quickly in line.
Right. Do you think that being a woman and having kids slowed down your career or your success in any way? Did you think
No, I don't think it did for me. My husband is so supportive. We are a team. He pitches in, just as much as I, and he's a financial advisor and super busy, but, I never had somebody that was like, oh, you're the woman, you're going to do XYZ. Like he does just as much as I do. So I don't think I lost any time, fortunately.
So you guys have been in business for over 10 years. Where do you see your firm in, do you have goals? I mean, my goals are to, expand and have a few more attorneys in the next few years so that it's, right now it's me and 1 associate, 2 paralegals. I would like to get us up to about, at least 2 more associates working for me to feel comfortable with our volume of cases. Do you guys have any goals that you think that, or any change of direction for your firm?
Very similar in the sense that we look to expand. Right now, we're looking for an attorney, and I think we could probably use 2 attorneys. But again, there's that hesitation. That's that sense of being humble and thinking that at some moment in time, the phones can stop ringing. Knock on wood, in the years we've been here, they just ring more and more. But no, absolutely setting goals of trying to expand, that at some point we're going to get older and we want to keep the firm going, that we surround ourselves with younger attorneys that want to build their own practice within our practice and bring in their own clients and their own business and be rewarded and compensated that way. So that at some point maybe we can slow down. I don't think Amy and I are built that way, but I think we're told that's supposed to happen. Michael is not built that way either. So the 3 of us are very much alike. We talk about retirement, but think it is something in the very far off future. Even though I can't consider ourselves young anymore.
Yeah, I say that since all my kids are adults, I guess I'm not young anymore. I know I want to do this probably for another 10 years or so, at the pace I'm doing it now. I think after that, it would be nice to be able to slow up a little with the
Right.
volume. Have you had trouble hiring? I know for my office, it took me about
Yes.
18 months to find someone to fill the associate position that was the right fit for my firm, and also, was willing to, I would say was the right fit, had met all the check boxes. But I didn't have a lot of people
We're
apply either.
Yeah, we're finding, and I don't, what I'm hearing when I talk to lawyers that do any kind of law, this is across the board. Everybody's having difficulty finding new lawyer. And even like a lot of the law clerks that we know that clerked, this past year, a lot of them chose not to go into family law for one reason or another. So we are definitely, but again, I think it's industry wide. We're not, I don't know where the lawyers are going. We would love them to come with us. But we're having a really tough time.
And
Right.
we have a family here, and we want to also ensure that you're just not bringing in someone to bring
Yeah.
in someone,
Correct.
that they fit, what we try to bring to our clients, so that we're all
Mhm.
very similar in the aspects that Amy talked about, that
Mhm.
at the end of the day, yes, we all get up. It's our job. We have bills. We need to pay them. It's like anybody going to a job and collecting a paycheck. But everyone here, I can say, truly cares about the individuals that walk through our doors.
I agree. I think when
We
you're
want to make
small
sure
and you're,
that
yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to say, when you're a small firm, that
no, that's
when,
okay.
when I talk about the right fit, I really mean that they're
Yeah.
going to embrace the atmosphere of the office, the energy of the office, the way we
100%.
treat our clients, the way we advocate for our
Yep.
clients. They have to be able to fit in all of that. But I was going to say, I
Absolutely.
agree that it's across the board. I find that a lot of the clerks here have gone to the prosecutor's office or a prosecutor's office, which I do think it's a great idea for experience. I also
Yeah.
think that young lawyers are they have trepidation to join a small law firm like mine, which was me and two paralegals at the time. Now I have an associate with a few part-time people too, but you know, I think of it as an opportunity to be able to grow your
Yeah.
business, to learn from someone who's experienced, to be able to be part of something, a law firm that's growing. This firm has only been in existence 5 years, and it's amazing what I've
Okay.
done in 5 years. But I think that
Right.
it's scary for a young attorney to step into that,
Yeah.
knowing that it's a young firm. And I think that's part of the reason why. So I feel like they go to either the big firms that they are getting the check at, they're going to the prosecutor's office or
Right.
public defender's office, or I don't know. I think a lot of, at least where we are, I'm in Atlantic County, people leave the area. So, I mean, you guys are in a more
Right.
dense area. So I would have thought that it might have been
Yeah.
easier where you are than where I am.
No.
No, not right now. Not, I would say, probably in the last 2 years, it's been really difficult. Like last year, we needed one new attorney. This year, now we're like, we could have two new attorneys, and we just can't find,
Can't find them.
anybody that checks all the boxes. And we really haven't. I mean, I'm not saying we're turning people away. We really just haven't had anyone that really is interested in doing this full time.
Right. I had one law clerk that applied last spring and said, is remote work possible? Or, is there an opportunity to work remotely? And the truth is that, my associate who works for me has kids, and there are days that she works at home and she writes briefs. So it's all fine. But I was laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, I am a criminal trial attorney. You have to go to court to work at this job.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah, you can't do it remote if you want to be in court.
And I'm like, how are you going to learn if you're in your home and not in my office.
No. Right.
You know, it's one thing if you've had all this experience and then you're, working
Right.
on file work or reviewing cases at home. I mean, I can do that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, sure.
you got to go to the office to learn. You got to go to court to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, the best lessons
Sure.
sometimes are watching other attorneys, watching attorneys that are effective in
Definitely.
court, and then watching attorneys that are not effective in court.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, you guys have anything else to add? It was really nice meeting you. Your law firm looks amazing. Thankfully, I do not need your services.
Thank you.
I don't need your services because I'm divorced already. The most amicable divorce in the world.
Oh.
My kid's dad comes to the house a few times a week. He visits. He says hi.
Oh.
He comes and visits
Very
his
nice.
favorite children, which are the dogs, and
Always. Yep.
sometimes he gets dinner, sometimes he doesn't, and then I'm like, okay, see you later.
That's great.
Like a marriage. Maybe there's dinner, maybe there's not.
There you go. Yeah, that only happens once or twice a week now, not every day. So
No, exactly.
yeah. So well, thank you so much for coming on the Mighty Merp podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mighty Merp podcast. This podcast is not a source of legal advice. No two legal cases are the same. Contact an attorney if you require legal assistance. Mighty Merp is a production of the Law Office of Melissa Rosenblum.